Hello guys, thanks for joining us on another battle report. Today we're playing Kings of War from Mantic Games. And we are playing Scenario 2 Invade. So, I'm using my Kingdoms of Men army as usual. And I am playing against my friend Swampy. Hey Swampy. He's using his Orcs and Goblins as usual. So we'll go over the armies in a minute. I thought I'd just show you the mission we're playing first. This is the setup of the table. We've already deployed and everything to speed up how this starts off. It's just a sort of a normal outfield area where the Orcs are invading the Kingdoms of Men territory again. It's spring and they obviously want some more pigs for their harvest.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So my army is my standard Kingdoms of Men army. I will get this army painted one day. I've deployed my Pistoliers or mounted sergeants or whatever they're called on the side. They have a massive rock giant facing them. So I'm not sure how much work they're going to get done. I have the City Guard, a horde of them. Then I have a unit of, what are those, troop choice of arquebusiers, lightning wizard next to them, a horde of spear phalanx, a general on a griffin, and then down there in the corner I have another troop of arquebusiers with a fireball wizard, and then my two knight units out on the flank. They got some hard terrain in front of them, and most of it is a clear open passage. So knowing Swampy, and we might as well go over his army, down in this flank here, opposite my Pistoliers, is his rock giant. And then what do you got else? You got Swampy?
An axe unit in the middle, as per usual.
Horde of them.
Flagger, stop them running away hopefully.
Yeah.
Horde of trolls, got a drummer, two wizards, whoever he is, Crudger, a unit of great axe, and a unit of
flea bags.
Well, they're not flea bags, they're ball boys, whatever they're called.
The equivalent.
The equivalent of ball boys.
So that's what they're looking at across that way. That'll be interesting. We're playing the invade scenario, so it's obviously a good opportunity to move forward. Knowing playing Swampy, he always moves forward. So
yeah, sitting back, man.
So it's going to be interesting. We've got a nice open expanse here in the front with some rough terrain on the edge there. And then this side is a bit more rough terrain, hence the reason I've deployed my knights all the way down that side. So we'll see. I knew Swampy would be over aggressive, so I just set up in a defensive formation, hopefully to receive the charge and then envelop him.
Well, you knew I'd be aggressive, it's not like me.
What was your plan?
Sit back and let you come to me.
Oh, right, okay. Okay, so I've rolled to win the turn sequence, but I've chosen Swampy to go first, hence the reason of my setup. So he will be Orcs will be taking first turn, and we will be back with that. Right, so Orcs turn 1 is complete. As you can see the battle line from this view. What happened, Swampy? Tell us what happened.
I moved forwards.
Yep, that's about the sum of it.
That's it. That's an Orc army. And I fired a lightning bolt with those arquebusiers. Missed.
It's only a lightning 2, so you got a 3 and a 2, no difference there. He has moved the Black Orcs, or what are they called?
Great axe.
Great axe onto the hill, which is quite annoying. I didn't think him to do that. The bushwhackers are around there, went around the flank, and everything else just steamed forward. This is not looking good. I might have to redirect. So that's Orcs turn 1, down to Kingdoms of Men turn 1.
Amazing.
Yeah. Kingdoms of Men turn 1, and it's considering this is the invade scenario, pretty static turn for myself. The knights shuffled up a little bit. I made sure I'm out of range of the great axes and the bushwhackers. I don't know what they called. They're all the all cavalry.
Should we just look in the book?
Yeah. So I made sure I'm out of range.
Gore riders.
Gore riders. So I made sure I'm out of range. And then over here, everything stood static, but over here I raced forward, as Swampy didn't realise they were movement 9 rather than 6 from the old days.
7.
So I've raced forward. I don't know what that's going to accomplish, but at least it'll cause him some hassles maybe. And then into my shooting phase, the arquebusiers, the lightning wizard, and those arquebusiers over there all fired onto those orcs over there. I put 5 wounds on them and then rolled double 3 for my morale test, so nothing really adventurous there. I suspect he's got a couple of healing spells, so they might not stay there. But I had to do something. Yeah, I had to do something. as I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to go from here. As the orcs are moving forward, I got one more turn before they were in my lines. So how did you think they would turn, Swampy?
Yeah, it was, well, but again, turn ones in Mantic seem to be a non-entity.
Yeah, it's super quick.
One day we'll take some artillery-based armies and see what happens.
Let's go on to turn 2 then. Orcs turn 2. And interesting turn. As you can see, this giant fish sticking out to the camera here is the giant who moved into the flank of the city guard down here. I kind of knew something like that was going to happen. But we'll have to make sacrifices. Sorry, city guard. Everything else pushed forward as usual. So the orc line here, the orcs, trolls and the axes are right in my face with their contingent of groupies at the back. 3 of them had healing spells, so heal 3 with a healing charm, heal 4 and a heal 4, and so that's healing 11, and only managed to heal 4 wounds, which is quite funny. Rubbish. The rest of the line down there have actually pulled back a little bit to get out of my charge distance. I think maybe the gold ones are still in my gold knights are still in charge range, but the black knights right at the back, they are out of charge distance of both of the units. So there's a bit of a stalemate going on down that side, whereas this side here in the middle and this flank here are going hell for leather, which creates a really interesting dynamic. What are you thinking, man?
Don't know. Thinking I'm going to smash you.
Obviously, if you're not familiar with the invade scenario, you score unit points for units that are in the opposite side of the board. So in this situation, obviously, I'm scoring 0 points. Oh, actually, no. I've got the Pistolier units, but everything else is moving towards my lines. So I need to make this count, in other words, to push them out and then push forward into there. Because even if I kill these units in my side, that does nothing. I need to score points going forward. So, on to my turn 2, and we'll see how that goes. Alright, so Kingdoms of Men turn 2 was interesting. I had a little bit of a dilemma. Obviously, I had a major dilemma here with this massive giant staring at my flank, so all I did was reform that way so I can take it a frontal charge rather than a flank charge. My mounted scouts repositioned this way and fired on the shooting phase into them. They did really well in terms of hits, but then with the 6 or 7 hits that I got out of their like 6 or 7 attacks, I only got 1 wound through, which was really annoying. But down here I reformed the line. I moved the spearmen into the gap. Obviously those guys were chickened. But over here, between my arquebusiers, the lightning wizard and the fireball wizard, I got these guys back up to 6 wounds. What was quite funny is, actually I'll get to that in a second, and they passed their morale test, no problem. Down here is where I was really just itching to charge, but I wasn't sure if this was a good idea. As it happens, I charged anyway. The knight's obviously going to get the -1, and then general getting the -1 in the flank for a rough terrain charge. But I charged in nonetheless. I just wanted to break a hole somewhere in the line, and I thought this was the weakest point. So I went in, caused 10 wounds on the charge, which is not bad considering I was at -1 to hit. This unit has the lead, so they can re-roll 1s on their attack. And I rolled 3 1s and then re-rolled them to roll 3 more 1s. Which was
you just got 1 of them, and they broke them as well.
Oh yeah, that's really annoying. So that knight unit over there was just repositioned to keep those gore boys at bay.
They never do anything like all riders. They always end up opposite a unit of knights.
You could have deployed them on the other side.
Yeah, but and then you'd have just trundled down my flank.
So they are doing something then. They're keeping me at bay.
Yeah, brilliant. I'd like to actually attack with them one day.
So that's the state of what happened on my turn. I put 6 wounds or 5 wounds back on these guys because they had 1 from the previous turn. They're still pretty fine. Those guys are wavered thanks to my charge from my heavy cavalry. And I'm now going to receive a charge from pretty much everything in the orc line, which is scary as hell. I'm not looking forward to this. I was hoping I could at least break through there, and with having the scouts and my general and knights in the backyard of the orc army, that gives something to Swampy to think about. But now instead I'm locked in the center there with him, and he's going to be charging into my backyard. So that sounds weird, but anyway, massive giant. This is quite weird about the giant. Obviously the giant's not on that size base, but obviously we played a Warhammer beforehand, and that's the base he came on, and we're not going to change, like make him balance on one base. So right, on to Orc turn 3. Okay, so this was, what was this, Orc turn 3?
Yep.
Yeah, I think I might have made a mistake earlier when I said Orc turn 3.
1, 2, 3, yeah.
So Orc turn 3, and as you could have expected, it was quite brutal. So yeah, it was pretty brutal. The giant actually did not take the charge on the city guard. Instead, he moved up straight into the flank, but not in charge, just into the flank there of the arquebusiers. They got this huge shadow looming over them, which is friggin' hilarious. But what was quite brutal was the big axe units and the trolls, both double charged the spear phalanx. And between the two of them, put 14 wounds on the spear phalanx, and then Swampy rolled just enough to rout them, 22. Unfortunately, I was out of range with my general, and I said to him at the beginning of the game when I charged, I said, this is crazy, you're leaving my only inspiring unit, leaving the line to go take the attack to the orcs. And it came back to bite me in the ass. I knew it would, and it did. So my spear phalanx is broken, ran away, and the orcs have reformed to take on the arquebusiers. I am in so much trouble. Down there, Swampy debated whether or not to countercharge the knights or the general. He countercharged the general, well, not countercharged, but his Crudger charged my general and put 5 wounds on him. 5 attacks, 5 wounds. Yeah, 6 attacks, 5 wounds. Take that, general on a griffin. And then add insult to injury. Not only wavered him, but now I'm stuck way out of position and receiving another charge probably next turn because I have no support for him. Both the wizards cast fireball 9s on my knights and put 1 wound on them, which was obviously nothing.
Fireball 11, it was even 11.
Oh yeah, fireball 11 each, so it's 22 fireball shots. And the elite cavalry units armored saved them superbly. Over here, the flag bearer healed 1 wound off the great axe unit, so they're down to 5 wounds now. And the gore boys around there in the back have reformed to face this way. I'm expecting Swampy's thinking that unit's going to break, and then he'll have a charge on the knights, which is interesting. So that's what the battle line looks like as such. Going to Kingdoms of Men turn 3, and I've got a lot of work to do here to catch up. So let's see what I can do. Rightio, so what happened on my turn? These guys obviously reformed to face into the battle, and these guys moved forward, so they're just in range of those orcs over there. So between my arquebusiers over there, these mounted scouts over there, and then the fireball wizard down there, and the lightning wizard over there, who both retreated, we put a considerable amount of damage on this orc unit in the middle here. Rolled for the morale, which is 22, which is enough to rout them, but because the stupid drummer, and I've said to Swampy at the beginning of this game, I really want to kill that drummer, but he's protected it so well, I can't get into it anywhere. So the drummer protected them from being routed, but of course they are still wavered. So that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Over there, my general obviously just released his chicken token, and I moved my cavalry unit. You can't really see it there, but I moved the black cavalry unit up onto the corner facing the flank of the gore boys, and then my knight unit on the hill here charged into the remaining great axe, caused 6 wounds on them and killed them, and then reformed to face the front. So I'm pretty much in control of that right flank, I think. And so long, if my general could just survive another charge, I'll be really happy. But this mess here in the middle is crazy. So you've got a wavered unit over there. I suspect my arquebusiers are going to get blown away or trampled away in a second. But it's causing a little bit of a roadblock here for Swampy. And I got some units on this flank. So I control the flanks. Swampy controls the center. That's really interesting. So I think this will be a critical turn for me coming up on my turn 4. I think Swampy's turn 4 is just going to be mopping up the center here and maybe taking out my general. Come on, curmudgeon, hold your turn. Right, so let's see what he does. Wow, the angry orcs strike back. Turn 4 for the orcs, and that might be the game. We're going to continue, obviously, normally. But the obvious, the giants squashed these arquebusiers. The trolls squashed those arquebusiers. So you can see the row of dead soldiers just lying here. He healed an extraordinary amount of wounds from that unit over there with his wizards. And unbelievably, he did this in the wrong order as well. He attacked on the knights on the hill first, causing 6 wounds, even with the -1 to hit. And me being defense 5, so down to defense 3, he still managed to cause 6 wounds and then break them, re-rolling, break them again. And that was that. My knights on the hill, which I thought for sure was going to be safe there. I thought maybe 3 or 4 wounds, you know, with the re-roll I'd be okay. Nope. Crushed them like a bug. Angry, angry boar boys. And then funny enough, the general, watching this carnage on the hill, charged into my general, caused another 4 wounds, broke him, but then with his inspiring presence, managed to become wavered again. So that is me in serious trouble. I positioned the Black Knights down that side in case Swampy didn't charge. Then I would have had a flank charge, so he would have to charge, thinking my knights on the hill would be fine. And that was obviously not the case. So I'm in a lot of trouble. As you can see, the red bodies everywhere strewn around. I've still got a little bit of forces on the side here. I've still got my wizards, and I've got that fresh unit of knights on the other side. But it's not looking good for me. How do you feel about that turn, Swamp?
Yeah, it's better than I thought it would go.
Yeah, that was crushing. We were bitching about the ball boys earlier, yeah, and now they've done their job.
Yeah, they've done something for once.
Charged up a hill and smashed through a golden unit of knights.
Charge on it to your table, huh?
Yeah, that's points all the way to the bank. Okay, so that's Orcs turn 4 done. Let's move on to the Kingdoms of Men. Okay, so what happened on my turn 4? I've got to take out all the scoring units here. So I've moved the Pistoliers, or the mounted scouts, forward to fire some shots onto that unit. My massive unit, with the help of a Bane Chant, chopped up the giant in the combat, put 16 wounds on it. Yeah, have some of that, rock giant. This is also obviously the unit with crushing strength 1. So the lightning wizard helped fire some more shots onto those guys over there with the help of these mounted scouts. So they back up to 11 wounds, but I didn't roll very high for the morale, so they're fine. So I suspect there might be another battle going over there. Down there, I've moved my cavalry up like this, and then I got my general just moving a little bit this way, away from the enemy. So if Swampy takes the bait and tries to charge him, I've got a counter charge on his general next turn. But as he's pointed out, obviously he's got tons of fireballs over here. I think 1 wound on my chicken and he's dead. And then obviously his units all arrayed like that. So that's the end of my turn 4. Going on to Orcs turn 5. This will be interesting what Swampy does. Does he push his advantage and counter here, or does he take his units down into the corner and save the points? Let's see what he does. Okay, so Orc turn 5, and that was devastating. Pretty much the game, unbelievable. I still play out my turn to make it an even amount of turns, but this happened. Unbelievable. Those Orcs charged in, and I thought there's no ways they'll break this unit. Even if they do a high amount of damage, which Orcs can do, I still thought, you know, a 23 or 24 morale unit is going to stick around. They caused 12 wounds, and then Swampy rolled double 6, which was just enough to break them.
24.
Yeah, 12 wounds, 12 on the dice, done. And that was my only hope of doing something gone. Because not only that, this red mark here is my wizard that took Fireball 22 to the face, causing 5 wounds on him, and then he routed. And my general down there also took a lightning bolt to the face and died there as well.
Chicken.
So that's my general died there, a wizard died there, and my last remaining unit that could help me out of this situation is gone, which means that's it, that's game. The ball boys down there moved into the corner to claim those points. All these guys are going to be unmolested over here. I've got a wizard and some mounted scouts to face off against an orc troll horde. So I think, well, my turn is going to be really simple. Actually, I'll do my turn quickly and then we'll come back with the end of the game, but it's going to be very simple just to finish off the game. What did you think about that turn, by the way? Unbelievable. Yeah. You were so lucky.
The dice are on my side.
That was second unit in the game. I was like, holy crap, I can't believe you killed them. But them bones. Okay, so I'm going to do my turn quickly. Alright, so my Kingdoms of Men turn 5 was very simple. I pushed these guys back, so they're out of charge range, if there was another turn, which I'm calling it obviously, so we're not going to have another turn. But just in case there was, I moved them back out of charge range, fired a couple of shots into there, caused a couple of wounds. Fireball Wizard moved out this way, also fired a Fireball 6 at them. I think I did 3 wounds altogether, but not enough morale roll, so they're still fine. And then my Knights down there held its ground. So, end of the game, we called it there obviously because Swampy's actually thrashed me here. I've got 300 points in the invading area, and Swampy's just got over 1,000. So, a massive defeat for the Empire, or Kingdoms of Men rather. And the Orcs have broken through their lines and into the back areas of the kingdom. So we need to assemble another force to come push them out again.
Bloody hell, I'm undefeated still, yeah.
That's because you only play me.
Many men of the Empire left.
Kingdoms of Men, man.
Kingdoms of Men.
There's plenty of kingdoms around. No, that was pretty brutal. We were just saying off camera that obviously I made a big mistake flying my general out into there. I was really wanting to break a hole in Swampy's line and cause some damage behind him, yeah, especially with this nest of characters he had. If I could put some pressure on those characters, he might cause to change his tactics. Unfortunately, I didn't break the line there, and then yeah, they eventually got broken, but I just couldn't break. And then of course, leaving my units exposed to the morale tests was obviously a bad idea because I lost both my spear phalanx and my city guard to exact rolls. So, you know, high rolls, but exact. So if I had my general there, they might have survived with a reroll. So that was obviously a big mistake. I obviously didn't use that unit of Black Knights efficiently. I kept his war boys sort of pinned for a while. But I thought for sure those knights on the hill would hold, giving me an opportunity to take them out and then leave both knight units in the back here, maybe for scoring points or depending on how things go down here. As it happened, obviously, they got killed by the boar boys, which was totally unexpected. And then, of course, this unit of city guard getting thrashed here by these boar boys is great axe or normal axe.
Normal axe.
Was also really unexpected. So those are a few points that I learned from that game. How about you, Swampy?
Yeah, I was going to carry on with my army the way it is.
Yeah.
The theme.
Well, the synergy you get from the extra dice in shooting and magic and stuff from units being close by is quite good. And then obviously the trolls regenerate on their own, so there's no real use shooting them unless you can take them out in a turn. Yeah, it's a really sturdy, steady army, and obviously the most of it is painted, which unlike mine. So there we go. That's my game. I think this is my 11th logged game. At the end of the video, I'll put my results. So I think out of 11 played, I think I've won 4 or something like that. It'll say at the end. But thanks a lot for playing, Swampy. And we'll go do something else.
Come back and whip you another time.
Yeah, I'll take revenge on you soon. I was saying we should maybe do a little bit of mini link scenario campaigns or something like that, instead of just, because I think we've played through most of the scenarios now. So we'll do something like that next time, maybe, when you're available and not working 100 hours a week.
That's a sword.
Alright, thanks for watching.